Hey guys, so I need your help coming up with whether you're watching this live or if you're gonna be watching the replay. I'm creating a course and I wanna offer some bonus products, like just some free products to go that complement the course. Obviously, my course is gonna be called Let Him Lead. It's just about teaching wives how to get their husbands to change or to become their dream husband without trying to get him to change. So we're gonna be using biblical principles, applying that. But the main thing about my course, the content will be good. It's going to be really good. It's going to help you to really rethink the way you think about marriage and reframe your mindset, all that. But the biggest thing is, we're going to be creating a community. You can be a part of a community of women. We're going to have live coaching calls, all that good stuff. But just cannot, I don't know what's like a good bonus to offer for my wives. So I at first I did want to I was thinking about like a meal plan or a workout plan or both. A course for the husbands, like if your husband is interested in creating a better marriage, then you can offer him this little mini course taught by my husband. But I'm not sure if that's a good idea. It could be something that you have that's optional, but I'm looking for ideas. Like, what do you think is something, or a course, or an ebook, or some kind of, obviously, we could do journals, but should it be about communication, how to communicate with your spouse, like a workbook? I just cannot, figure out what to offer. So, but if you're watching this, just leave your ideas in the comments, and yeah, let's talk about it. Let me get some better light here. Okay. So So in my course, we're going to talk about how we can, because I think the biggest thing with us as wives, even if you're not a Christian wife, is just that we have the wrong mindset. Like, we've been taught through music, through media, through just society, like people around us, we don't have a good like reference for what a good marriage looks like. We probably hear about, oh, so and so has been married for 50 years, or your friend's grandma's been married for 100 years. But no one ever talks about how do we get there? Like, what do we do? What is the right thing to do as a wife? The right way to talk, the correct way to behave, especially towards your husband. What's going to make him feel like a man and help him to live up to his potential so he can be the dream husband that you want him to be? We don't talk about that enough. And of course, on my channel, that's all I talk about now, because it took so long for me to figure out that what I was doing was wrong. I blamed my husband for every issue in our marriage. I just thought that I was the perfect wife, and I was doing everything I could. And of course, I was doing everything the way I knew how to do it. Like, I didn't have a strong reference point. Like my parents, they were married for maybe 30 years. 30, I don't know. They've been married for a long time, maybe 20. My eldest sister is about 40 now, and they got married around. Yeah. So I want to say they've been married for a long, long time, and they're now divorced. My dad had no reason to get married. He should not have been a husband, but he was horrible. The worst example for a husband. But my mom, on the other hand, she showed me how to be a strong, independent woman, because that's what she had to be in her marriage. My dad just did not show up at all as it relates to being a husband. So I learned how to be strong and independent. And so, of course, we take that into marriage, not realizing that it's the complete opposite of what we need to be as women or as wives. It's good to be independent and strong um, when you're single, and it's good to be strong in general, even as a wife. But to be independent, it kind of goes against what the Bible tells us to do, because the Bible tells us that whenever you get married, the two becomes one. So that goes against this independent mindset that everyone likes to talk about. Like, I'm an independent woman, I can do my own thing, I can make my own money. Yes, you can make money, but it's not your own money. Once you become married, it becomes both of y'all's money. Same with his money is your money. And so it becomes a team effort, and unless we are working as a team, talking to each other respectfully as a team, loving each other, and just, doing what is required of us, and knowing that as a wife, a man needs to feel respected to thrive. And that is why the Bible points out, lines out, every time it instructs us, it tells us to be submissive. And submissive for a wife, it just means respect your husband. That's all it means. When you allow him to lead, it allows you to more easily show respect. If you Nehemiah, you're saying, he's the leader, I'm gonna let him lead, it comes easier for you to show that respect that is needed. But that's all that's needed. If you can just respect your husband, even if you don't want to think about it as submission, or you don't want to think about it as leader, whatever, as long as the respect is there, he feels respected, he feels valued, he feels like he's a part of every single decision. You're not making decisions without him. You're not doing things, just on your own. I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to achieve what I need to achieve by myself. I'm not consulting with him. I'm just doing my own thing. That's the wrong attitude. You can do those things, you can achieve your goals, you can go after your dreams, all of that. But he needs to be involved. He needs to have a say. Like, we're doing this together. Honey, this is what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. This is how we're going to come together, and we're going to put this and this. These are our goals, and you're discussing it. Everything is a team effort that we're talking about it. We cannot be, oh, I'm over here doing my thing and he's over here doing his own thing, right? He has to feel like you value him, you value his opinion, you value what he has to say, you value his decision making, you value him just as a person. And he's gonna start, Giovanni, he's gonna start just becoming this valuable person. You know how we see husbands and they look so good and they speak so highly of their wives, and they're just thriving, and they're like husband goal. Like, Your husband has the ability to become that. It all lies in how you're treating him. If you're treating him like a king, if you're treating him like a leader, if you're treating him like this valuable person, he's going to start walking into that. Of course, as a leader, if a man is going to lead his home, he can command that from his wife. If you step in as a man and you're like, I'm taking control and I'm gonna love you to the point where you have no you have no option but to respect me, then that's good. That's what we all dream of, that the man we marry just walks into that position. But the thing is, our men don't know how. They don't have the TV shows aren't teaching them how to do that. That's not what they're seeing. They don't have the fathers in the home, or they don't have two-parent homes. A lot of men do, but majority don't, right? So, yeah, they may go to church and they may see these men, but they don't get to be in close proximity where they get to understand, this is how you talk to your wife. This is how you treat your wife. And when you treat her this way, she's going to do this or whatever, right? They don't they don't get that. Society isn't teaching our men how to be men. You can find how to be a thug. You can see, like, in the music, in the movies, you can see how to be the pimp, how to be a player, how to be whatever, right? But how to be a godly husband, how to be a godly man, like, we do have movies out there, like, The Prayer Room is a good movie of how a man stepped up, but he came from a place where he had no respect for his wife. He wasn't showing respect. And that's kind of how our men are. Even when they're successful, they don't really know how to treat their women. But what I've come to understand, as a wife, I have the power to change him, to push him into that place. And it's such a gentle, yeah. I mean, we all do. Yeah, you do need, if you can choose a godly man, and the thing is, you can prep him during dating, you can prep him during courtship. I think that's the biggest thing that we're lacking in, like, courting and dating. Where in dating, it's like we're just going out, we're having a good time, but we're not having those really serious conversations. We're not putting them in uncomfortable spots. So, like, how is he when he gets angry? How is he when he's uncomfortable? How is he when he's around a bunch of people that he doesn't know? Like, we have to put them in these positions to really test their true character, because they put on face. My husband used to say that he sends his rep. Like, he will send his rep. If he's going on an interview, he's going on a first date, whatever, he's sending his rep. He's not going as his true self, right? And it's true for most of us, not just the men. Like, you're gonna put your best foot forward when you're just starting to interact with someone, you're just getting to know someone. Yeah, but the reality is, yes, a man should always respect a woman regardless, but do the women respect the men? A lot of times we put so much pressure or expectation on the man, right? We say he should be doing this, he should be doing that, and you forget your power. You forget your influence. You forget that the way you allow him to treat you is you're teaching him what you're accepting. You are teaching him what is acceptable to you. They test you in the beginning. They will say, they will start respectfully. They always start respectfully. They always start treating you like a queen. And then you're like, say for instance, right? You're going to go out on a date, And he's testing you. He's like, where you want to go? Where do you want to go to eat? And we're like, and I used to be like this. I thought it was humility, but it lies within our value, right? We're gonna say, "Ooh, I don't want to pick out. I don't want to name the most expensive place, or I don't want to call it. I don't want him to think I'm too bougie, or that I'm this or that." But what you can do is not go for the most expensive thing, but not go for the cheapest thing either. Like, don't say McDonald's. Don't say, like, make him work for it and test to see if he's willing to work for it. Because he may not be able to afford, say, you say, Cheesecake Factory, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head, which is not bougie at all, but it's not a McDonald's, right? So we say Cheesecake Factory, and he thinks, okay, that's not too bad. That's reasonable, right? Um, but the next time I would push it a little bit more, go a little bit higher. Like we like Cooper's Hawk here, and I don't think it's too expensive, but it's just a little bit more upscale where it's the wine and the winery. So teach the men what you are willing to accept. You set your standard at the beginning. The problem that we're making as women is that we think the power lies in the man. He's the leader, but you are the, let's say, you're the battery. You run that thing. You power that thing, right? You're just powering it, but that's why we have to verbally tell him, I'm expecting you to lead. I'm expecting you to do so and so. This is what I need from you. Because if not, we're going to naturally step into that leadership role, because as women, we're going to go, this needs done, we're going to find a way to get it done. But that's not what God wants for us. We need to have that mentality, because if he's lacking, or if he's laxing, if he's getting too comfortable, we have to be in that mode, like, babe, no, we can't slow down. We need, and you're pushing him. You're like the battery. A man should know his role. Are you a male or a female? Because I want to make sure. A man should know his role, but so should a woman. If you don't know your role as a woman, this is the kind of talk that you're going to continuously have. You're not going to be able to take accountability. That I used to be like this for a long time. And until I started to take accountability of my actions, I didn't know my role. I thought he needed to know his role. He should know what to do. He this, he that. And I put so much emphasis on what he should be doing that I lost sight of what should I be doing. And what changed for me, or when things change, is when I asked God and I said to God, like, what am I doing wrong? Certainly, it cannot just be him. Because if I'm doing everything right, he should be stepping up based on the word of God, right? So I must be doing something wrong. There's something missing. I had to come to that point where I had to look myself in the mirror and really try to figure out. And you know what I did? I went to the scripture and I really had to study what is expected of me as a wife, and I just completely forgot about him. I don't want to look at what he's supposed to be doing. I don't want to criticize what he's doing, what he's not doing. I don't want to talk about him at all. That's why I told God, I need to focus on me. And the strangest thing happened when I figured out. First of all, the Bible tell us that a meek and gentle spirit is in a wife brings favor from God. It says a meek and gentle spirit in a wife can change your husband without having to say anything, without having to preach to him, without having to, it just change yourself. Bring that change that you want to see. And that's what I started to do. I started to bring the change that I wanted to see. I was a single mother. I had to do everything alone. I wanted to be married, but I could never find a good man. Not that was looking, because I was focused on me and my daughter. They're hard to find, especially if you don't really know what you're looking for. Um, do you want a good man or a godly man? I think you had said you wanted a godly man. Yeah. So, when you, because a lot of times, maybe what you're looking for is a man that's in his prime, right? Like he's at the point now where you want him to be in the future. But you can also look for a man that has the potential to be the man that. So, say for instance, you want a financially stable man. You want a man that's going to provide for you. He's going to lead you spiritually, blah, blah, blah. If you can find a godly man that doesn't have the finances yet, he doesn't have maybe the leadership yet, but he loves God and he truly wants to serve God, and that's his main focus, then you have a good man. If you look for the God in the man, you'll find the goodness. So a lot of times what we look for is the material things. Like, how much is he making right now? Where does he live? Like, say for instance, so for some cultures, the parents will allow their children, their grown children, to live with them for as long as they want until they get married. A man like that may look like, ooh, that's a red flag, right? He lives with his parents. But to me, I'm going to dig deeper. Like, what does his bank account look like? And you can know you're going to test him, as I said before. Like, is he able to take me places to eat? Does he complain about finances? Is he able to travel a lot? Like, what does his finances look like, right? Because that to me isn't an instant red flag. But to some other people, they're going to write off like a man like that he's godly and everything, but he just lives at home. He works and everything, but he lives at home. So we have to start looking beyond like just what we can see and look for the God in the man. Like, does he go to church on a regular basis? Is it important for him to go to church? Is it important for him to pray? Does he ask you to pray for him on a regular basis? Is he asking for sex prematurely? If he's wanting sex before marriage, forget about it. I don't care how godly he says he is. But you know what? You can also say to him, the two things I would do if I were to start over is I would make sure that I tell him, no, I don't want, let me see if I could put this here. No sex before marriage. I'm trying to set up my thing. So if you want to find a good man, no sex before marriage. It's a test, but it's also you're honoring God, right? Because God told us not to do that. So if you want a godly man, then he has to be doing godly things. So no sex before marriage. If he wants the sex, he can marry you. There's no limitations on how soon you can get married. So I would just say no sex before marriage, and just look at, is he, the education, even if he's not like college educated, does he have a skill? If is he passionate about something? When you find a man that has a passion, trust me, that is the best indicator. And I'm not, you have some men that are passionate about everything. Every 2 weeks, he's passionate about something else. That's different from someone who's 36 and he's been working on this thing since he was 20. And he knows, like, he's still working and he still know that he has responsibilities, but he has this thing that he's just passionate about. That's a man that I would be attracted to. He has God. He loves to pray. He won't eat without praying. He won't go to bed without praying. And as I said, so the prayer, his relationship with God, no sex before marriage, and is he passionate about something? If he's not educated, is he passionate? Those to me are the recipes for a successful man, a man that you as a woman, because that's our role, to support, to gently push them into their position, to love them. That's our role. And as long as we can, you see, when you start focusing on your role, even if, say for instance, you're just going on dates, and you write down, these are the things, this is the way I'm gonna present myself, whether, I don't care what he looks like, what he earns, what, I'm not gonna compromise. If you can have some things, 5 things that you're not going to compromise about yourself, and none of that, when you find the man that is unshaken by none of the 5 things, that's your man. Don't let it be that your standards change depending on who you're talking to. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't even know if Sha is still on. But yeah, if you want to find a godly man, focus on you. These are my 5 things. I'm not going to have sex before marriage. I'm not going to go somewhere where dinner costs less than $50. I'm not going to, and this is just a value thing. This is not a money thing or whatever. It's just to see how much this person values you. If you can have a conversation with them and they're like really respectable and loving in the way they like, say for instance, I say I want to go to Cheesecake Factory, and they're like, I would really love to take you to Cheesecake Factory, and I promise I will one day, but right now I just feel like, let's go get coffee, just because I want to be able to talk to you in a more informal setting. And maybe you could do that for the first time. If he's respectable about it, then sure. But at some point, he has to show you that, oh, I'm valuable. You are valuable to me. And then, whatever, just pick 5 things, make them biblical, and stick to them. No matter what's going on with these guys, if he cannot fulfill these 5 things that I need, he's a goner. If he can't respect no sex before marriage, he's a goner. If he can't respect that we're gonna go to church every Sunday, he's a goner. If he can't pray with me, he doesn't want to pray, he's a goner. But make up 5 things that you think are important to you and to God, and don't compromise on those 5 things. All right, so I'm gonna go back. Oh no. What did I do? Oh, how did I get this back? Oh, I don't know where my phone holders are, and I don't want to get up to. So let me put that there. All right, so I'm gonna go back to talking about my talking to wives, okay? So I'm gonna share. So if you're desperate, are you desperate for change? Are you willing to take accountability for your own actions? Like, as a wife, are you able to take accountability, instead of blaming your husband? I find that a lot of us, we take comfort. Like, even on my post, I don't get that much traction, and I know why. I know it's because I don't encourage wives. Like, I don't. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to get my phone thing. I don't encourage wives to like bash their husbands. Like, I don't believe in talking about what the husband did wrong, what he's doing wrong. I just don't see the point, because at the end of the day, it's not going to make it better. It's going to make you as a wife more resentful. And so that's why I don't want to partake in that kind of thing. The when I began to see changes in my marriage is when I began to change, when I began to take accountability for my own actions. That's when I started to see changes, not just in my husband, but in my children. Like, everything around me changed. My demeanor changed. The way I talked changed. The way I showed up changed. I became more feminine, more soft, just not so stressed all the time, not so I'm not carrying his mantle. I'm not carrying this burden that should be my husband's. I'm leaving it to him. Okay? What I started to do is make sure my husband has and regular sex and respect. No, I recognize that I could say anything. I could ask him anything, like ask for any favor. I could communicate anything to him, like something I don't like that he's doing. I could um complain about something he's doing. I could say anything, communicate anything I want that's going through my head, as long as I do it in a respectable way, as long as I did it quiet and gentle and meek. And he's able to, we could talk about it, and I give him an opportunity to respond. And I'm not blaming him. I'm not, um, what's that word I'm looking for? I'm not nagging him. That's a big thing. We nag, 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 nag till he gets sick of hearing us. We get sick of hearing us, but yet still we think that that's gonna be productive. We, for some reason, we think that's gonna give us a solution. You're just driving yourself closer and closer to divorce, closer and closer to separation. Okay, you have to start doing it God's way, and God's way is being meek, gentle, and kind towards your husband, giving him that respect, submitting to him. Submission for a wife is just respecting your husband. That's it. Just show him respect. If you don't understand anything else about submission, understand, show him respect. Figure out what he finds respectful, what he doesn't. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't deserve it. For a long time, I thought my husband wasn't deserving of my respect. He didn't deserve to lead me. I was too smart. I was too much of a catch. I was too educated. I had so many options out there. I was like fooling myself. I mean, those things may be true, but I'm a mom. I'm a mom of three, right? And I'm carrying his burden of leading the family. Plus, I'm having to nurture my family. Plus, I'm having to do all these other things. I'm carrying my role and his role. Meanwhile, he's just chilling. My husband goes to work, he comes home. Yes, he doesn't feel like he has a purpose, but he's okay with that. And most men will be, because unless they're just really passionate and they got the calling and God already spoke to them, they're just chilling. She wants to take it on, let her take it on, right? While I'm over here just stressed. I don't have a sex drive. I don't have no kind of drive. I don't want him to touch me. I don't, because I'm doing everything he's not doing. But who told me to do it? Sometimes he will try to wash the dishes, and I'm like, no, no, I'll do it because you can't even do it right. He'll try to do the laundry. Don't do it because you don't. You know what I do now? Do the laundry, do the dishes, do whatever you want to do. I don't care how it comes out. As long as it's done, I'm good. So much better. I'm just, so much calmer, so much softer. Just living like my best life. Like I thought I had to hang on to this control the whole time. I had to hang on to this control. I had to control how things were done. I had to control. I knew how to do it best, and I had to show him. I had to make sure he knew. Every time he tried to do something, make sure you're doing it this way. Make sure you're doing it properly. And I'm just becoming this nagging wife. He doesn't feel good doing anything for me because, like, there's no reward, right? He doesn't want to, like, go out of his way. He feels like I pay the bills and that's enough, because that's all I'm demanding of him with my attitude. My attitude was not deserving of being treated like a queen, like being treated like sacrificially, like the Bible called for me to be treated, right? Um, and it could be the reverse. If he had the revelation first, if he started loving me even though I was undeserving, if he started loving me sacrificially, I would also start respecting him more. As long as one party, just one person. But I like to talk to the wives because I know from firsthand experience what it means. Like, I don't even feel comfortable talking to husbands. Like, I don't want to tell the husbands what to do, right? So that's why, and I don't want to tell the wives to tell the husbands what to do. The way I changed my marriage did not require me asking my husband to change. I just began to change. I just began to implement everything the Bible told me to do. And my marriage miraculously started to change. It was so fast too, right? It was so fast. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, the first conversation I had with my husband, I was like, is this the same man? I said to him, I just want to be more feminine. I don't want to be so masculine. I don't want to argue so much anymore. I just want you to lead. I want you to take control. And I just want to be more feminine and just be prettier and just softer and whatever. And he's like, if you do that, I'll do whatever I need to do. I did not expect this at all. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. If you become more feminine and I'm like, that's what he wanted this whole time? Yeah? You're hungry? Grandma isn't downstairs? What do you want to eat? See if she's downstairs. If she's not downstairs, just come back and let me know. Why you keep looking at my camera? um But I was like, no way, this man just said this. This is my man, right? Oh, I was also telling him that I wanted to quit my job. I wanted to be like a stay at home mom, just more feminine, more, woman like. No working. He would work and he would provide. I'm still working, guys, because it just works for now, but I could not believe that this man, he was a man that was like, we had to be 50-50. I had to work. Like, this is what he said at the beginning, but I was so hyper masculine that I think he thought he needed to say these things, because I was like, I have to work and I have to go to law school and I have to take care of so and so, so I need a job. And I was just like, I didn't even talk to him about any of it. I didn't consult with him. And so, but he was like, 50, well, we're going to be 50-50. If you're going to be working, you're going to be paying half the bills, blah, 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 right? And then I said this to him. I think we were in the car and He was just like, yeah, if you stop working and if you become more feminine and you just tone it down, I'll pay the bills, I'll do whatever is necessary. And I just could not believe this was the same husband. You know what I mean? And I promised him we would do more sex cuz the men need the sex. I don't like the sex. Oops. Ugh. I'm not getting up to get my phone thing. So this keeps falling. But sex was a challenge. But, I find when you respect and when the respect and the love is there as it grows, the sex becomes easier. I'm not as young. I have three little kids. I feel like something about getting pregnant just maybe it's just me. Y'all can let me know if there's a female on here that's been pregnant and you're married. I feel like after pregnancy the sex drive just goes down. I'm also iron deficient, so that may be a thing too. But I compromise. I'm like, okay, we could do regular sex. This is how we're gonna make it happen. Cause our kids just love to find our bed, right? We will put them in their bedrooms before, at bedtime. But during the night, everyone's in this bed. That's why we have to have a king bed. But we make sure to put them in their beds every night, just so it's a habit that they're used to being in their bedrooms. But anyway, so we had to make sure, and that's one reason why we had to do that as well, because it gave us at least a few hours to do the sexual activities. But it's so important to a man, the sex and the respect. If you have the respect but you don't have the sex, he still may not be as receptive. If you have the respect, what did I say first? If you have one without the other, you're not gonna get as good as a response um, as having both. If you start respecting your husband, like really showing him the respect and then increasing the sex, if you're already giving him once a day, don't worry about it, babe. You're good. You're the MVP. You're the real MVP, all right? But if you're someone like me that struggles to do it 2 times a week, 3 times a week, maybe that's enough. I think that may be enough. 3 times a week. I think that's my goal. 3 times a week. Um, if I fall short of the 3 times, I just feel like he's just not himself. So I try to make sure at least the 3 times a week. But he needs the sex, he needs the respect. Okay? If you're out there and you're listening to me and you want your marriage to be better, wifey, sex and respect. Sex. I should write a book called Sex and Respect. All right? But y'all have any questions for me? I don't really like to hear myself talk, and I've been talking for a while. But so, um, yeah, if you don't, I want you to stop blaming your husband. I want you to stop finding all the things that are wrong with him. I want you, if you can right now, think of 3 things, 3 good things, 3 things that even if you were to find another husband, you would want those same 3 qualities in that husband. Write them down. 3 things that you love about your husband that you would never change. Focus on those 3 things. If you can find more, all the better. But there has to be at least 3 things that, even if it's the way he looks, even if it's the way he talks, the way he texts in proper English, not broken, you know? What is it, like some little things that you appreciate about him? The thing with our marriages, like, it's not the big offenses that bring the divide. It's the little things that happen over time that we let build. We don't talk about them. We don't resolve these issues. And we just let them stack up. And we lose sight of the things that we love about our husbands. The things that, you know, attracted us to him. But don't lose sight. I used to be annoyed with my husband just because of the way he drives, the way he washes the dishes. Like, those things aren't even important. Nobody cares. This man was driving years. I met him at what, like 25 maybe? We were at the same age, 25, 26. He was driving for years before me. Um, but yet still I felt like I need to control the way he drove. I needed to control his every move. So I want you to focus. I want you to focus on the good things, the positive things. Praise him for every little thing that he does that you appreciate. Let him know you appreciate him. Thank him. Say thank you. Okay? Say, just stop blaming him for stuff and start taking responsibility. Lord, what's my role in this? Even now, in this situation, in this conversation, in this disagreement, what role did I play? My role in a lot of our arguments, in a lot of our is not that I instigated or that I had anything to do with starting the problem. It's just that what's the word? I perpetuated the problem because I didn't approach it with a soft answer. Like, I would react in a disruptive or destructive way. I would react so unnecessarily, like just over the top. Why would you even ask me that? I can't believe. And it's just like we go into this thing. The tone is wrong. The words are wrong. Disrespectful words, calling names. Like that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Right now, that's one thing we don't do anymore. My husband was like, this is one thing I would like for you to not call me any names, not to anything demeaning, derogatory. Let's just not do that. Not demean the man. Okay? We can simply, and when the first time I did this, I was even blown away when my husband came at me about something. And I was just like, at first I was like kind of defensive. And I'm like, no, but so and this is why. And then I stopped myself and I was like, you know what? We did talk about it. I did tell you before I did it. But what do you want me to do, babe? What do you think is a good solution? What should I have done? The man was like, um, I didn't think that far ahead. Like, he was ready for an argument because that's how it always was. He wanted me to defend, or he expected me to defend my position. Then he would have a reason why I shouldn't have done it. And it's just going back and forth. Why I shouldn't have done it, why I should have done it, why I shouldn't have done it, or this back and forth. No solution in sight. But when I just stopped him in his track, you see what happened there? The whole argument just died. He didn't know what to say because I didn't give him anything to defend or anything for him to argue about. I just said, what can we do about it? And he was like, I don't know. I guess that's fine. But I was just like, I thought you hadn't talked to me about it, but maybe you did and I forgot. It was like we were having conversations so much differently. And I was blown away. He was blown away. He came back and he was like, babe, you really, you really disarmed me. That's the word he used. He's like, you really disarmed me just now. And I'm like, yeah. it works. We were like, this is crazy that this really works. The Bible works. The word of God works. It says a soft answer turneth away wrath. And then First Peter 3 tells us that a meek, gentle, and quiet spirit in a wife brings favor from the Lord. So when you have favor from the Lord, your marriage is going to flourish. Your children are going to flourish. Your little business is going to flourish. Your finances are going to flourish. You're just going to flourish because you have that extra favor. So we began to see and reap the benefits, like, but the one thing was, God was like, you need to tell wives about it. And I'm like, I really don't want to. I really don't want to do that. I don't want to tell people what to do with their lives, with their marriages. Like, I was struggling for so long. Like, why would I go out there and try to tell people what to do? Like, it just made no sense to me. But it's the only thing God has ever told me to do, and it was just so clear that I just needed to go do this thing. And I'm like, okay, God, if you say so, right? So I'm out here, and that's why I'm not really giving up. I don't get a lot of views because my approach is different. If I can't come on here and encourage y'all to dislike your husband or to blame him or to find the reasons to hate him, a lot of people won't. They won't relate to that. People want to know that the way they feel is validated. But I can't validate the way you feel because it's not right. Your husband is not the only one to blame. You're both in the wrong. And when you can start taking accountability, if either of you can start taking accountability, it doesn't need to be both of you at the same time. But if you as a wife can figure out what is it that you're doing wrong. For me, it was my response. Like, I had hurtful words. I was very loud and just like, I know. Can you believe me, loud? But it was just the way I grew up. My family was dysfunctional. My mommy and my daddy argued all the time. So when I heard, when conflict came, like, I was quiet, like, I'm not bringing the conflict. But when the conflict came, I'm like, like, it's like someone turned on the bulldozer. Just like, I would just, my poor husband. He's not innocent, y'all. He's not innocent. He put me through the ringer, but the thing is, it didn't have to escalate. It doesn't, like, whatever the issues are, they don't have to escalate. They don't have to escalate. We just need to have the quiet, soft answer to just stop them in their tracks. Stop them in their tracks, stop the conflict, stop the argument. And they themselves, they come like so defensive and ready, right? Or they're the offense. Yeah, they come with the offense and we're so ready to defend. But if we don't defend, it stops them. Like, there's nothing. If you're not defending, there's no tussle. Like, I don't know, I'm not so good with football, but I know the offense and the defense, they're always tussling, right? They're always fighting for the ball. But if there's no defense, you just stop him right in his track. No argument, no disagreement, nothing. What is it that you want me to do, babe? What can we do? What's the solution? How do we fix this? And he's like, okay, I don't know. What do you think? Most of the time, the men are gonna ask you as the wife, what do you think? What's your idea? What do you want to do? They just want to know that you're not fighting them. And I think that's the whole logic behind this whole let him lead thing in the Bible. What happened, baby? What did your grandma say?
She's not done yet.
Oh, she's not? What do you want? You want rice? Or you want noodles?
Noodles. Wait, what kind
Or
of
you want soup? We're not eating meat, so I don't even know what to give the children. You want hot dog? What? What did you...
I want to do what this
You just want to be in my video. Come and say hi. It's only 4 people. Can't be that detrimental. Say hi.
Hmm.
That's it? That's your debut?
Hmm.
What you want to eat? Go.
There's nothing in there that I want.
It's 5 more minutes and I'll be on here for an hour. Nothing that you want? Where's Daddy? Is he sleeping? Tell Daddy what you want. Tell Daddy. Have him help you decide and then you guys let me know. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so in the marriage, right? If he's coming at you, or if you're a husband and she's coming at you, whoever's bringing the offense, don't bring the defense. Just stop it. Stop it right there. No, time out. What do you want me to do? What would you like me to do, babe? I'm so sorry, babe. I didn't even realize I did that. What should we do? What should we do now? You see how that's just this different approach instead of no, I did not do that, or don't you dare come at me about so and so. You know what I mean? We're gonna come with the softness. Softness, whether you're the husband or the wife, come with the softness. I'm sorry, babe. Did I really do that? I did not mean to do that. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Or if you did do that, say, at the time, if it seemed like a good idea, I was just thinking that if I did X, then Y, but maybe that wasn't such a good idea, right? What is she gonna say? No, it wasn't. How can we fix it, babe? How can we fix it? And there's no argument, there's no resentment to be had. We're good. We're just moving on. And that's how we're tackling obstacles from now on. No defense. No defense. The offense will always come because we're human. We're always going to feel a certain way about a certain thing. I'm always going to do something that offends my husband, not necessarily on purpose, but just unknowingly. And but whenever the offense comes, whether it's deliberate or not, no defense. Let's say no defense. We're going to stop it in its tracks with the soft, gentle, loving, respectful. A respectful for the husband, you're going to have a loving response. And for the wife, you're going to have a respectful response. It's just because we process it different. For the husband, you're going to hug your wife and be like, babe, I'm so sorry. I'm such an idiot. I didn't even think about that. I didn't think that through. Just admit it. That's the best thing. Admit it or say, I don't know. I don't remember or whatever. Take responsibility and let's move on. Take responsibility, find a solution. Take responsibility, find a solution. All right. So that's the secret sauce. That's what God wants from us. That's what he expects. The offenses are gonna come, or the offenses. I don't know. I'm Jamaican, guys, so sometimes my words get confused. I'm like, in Jamaica we would say, you offend me, offend. But in American it's offend. Oh, maybe it's the same thing, but it's offense or offense. I don't know. But anyways, but that's how we're gonna approach conflict in our marriage. And remember, wifeys, I'm about to go. I'm waiting for 1 hour. But remember, respect and sex. For husbands, I'm not talking to y'all husbands. Just respect and sex. If you're a husband, when she gives you the respect and the sex, um figure out what she needs, because all of us wives, we accept love differently. That's why you have the love languages, right? So you have to figure out your wife's love language and love her that way. It makes no sense. Like, a lot of men will tell me, I do this, this, and this for my wife, and she just does not seem to appreciate it. Maybe because it's not something she likes. Like, my husband will give me the most, he will buy me stuff, right? And it's nothing that I like, nothing that I would buy for myself. But guess what? I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna tell him I love it. I'm gonna appreciate it. But the enthusiasm when I get the gift, it's not really gonna be there compared to if I get a gift that is really within my love language, really something that I love. So if you give me flowers, I'm not gonna be as enthused as if you gave me, what would I be enthused about? Maybe some design or something, or I don't even know. I don't even know what I like. I like expensive gifts, I think, maybe. But anyways, I don't like flowers. I feel like it's a waste. Like, why cut it down for it to die a few days later? It looks pretty, but we could get them in the fake kind. But the point is, figure out how your wife receives love and do that. It's very, very important. Some wives will not even respond to gifts that much because their love language is not gifts. They want quality time. What?
I know what I want.
What? So just tell me.
Toast bread, egg, and bacon.
I think you came up with that because you want to make it yourself.
No, I really want it.
You really want it? Does your brother and sister want that? My gosh. My mom taught her how to make eggs, so that's all she's been wanting to eat. What was I gonna say? Oh, the love language. So if you're a husband listening, or if you're a wife listening, because it's more likely that you're a wife listening, tell your husband how you receive love, okay? We like to say he should know. We've been married for 5 years. We've been married for 10 years. He should know. But you never told him. You just graciously accept all the gifts. So you never feel fulfilled. You never feel really loved because you're not getting loved the way you want to be loved. Yeah?
Jackson wants it, but Paige doesn't.
What does Paige want?
She might say nothing, but I didn't ask her.
Figure it out. Give me a menu. Ask Daddy what he wants for dinner. Oh, he wants soup. I remember. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave you guys. I loved hanging out. I know there weren't that many people on here, but I love when you guys join me. Oh, and I'm coming up with a free webinar. I don't know when I'm going to release it, maybe in a few weeks. But you guys can learn all of this just in like a compact little way. And then you can join my community and we can just be friends. You know, that way we get to talk. We can actually be on Zoom together so I can see and hear you guys. But yeah, that's gonna be coming out soon. If you're interested, click on the link somewhere in my bio. And yeah, I love you guys as usual. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.